Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of Horror Hands, and for this video I'm going to be talking about a horror movie that is really underrated. It's a movie that has been cast out into obscurity for years and years and just has never seemed to get the love or recognition that I think it deserves. And the movie in question is The Keep from 1983, directed by Michael Mann. Now, The Keep tells the story of a platoon of German soldiers in the 1940s who travel to and bunker themselves down within this giant concrete structure deep within the Carpathian Mountains, although I think it was filmed at Shepperton. And this giant structure, it's completely fortified, it's almost impenetrable. However, it was built not to keep people out, but to keep something in. And the German soldiers soon find that they've unleashed a supernatural force within the keep that is killing them off one by one. Now, this is an excellent movie for so many reasons. First thing that strikes me about this film is just the look and feel of it. It has some gorgeous cinematography. It looks amazing. The lighting and the colours in this film really evocative and create like this strange, almost like dreamlike feel. It's got the soundtrack by Tangerine Dream, which is really good and only kind of adds to this weird evocative feel of the movie. And there's definitely something in this film that's hard to explain, but it just has a feeling which not a lot of horror films have. Similar to like when you watch The Exorcist, and when I watch that, I think this film has a power within its very tapestry. The Keep is a similar thing. I'm not saying it's on the same level, but it has something going on about it which is hard to put into words. It's also elevated by some fantastic performances from the cast. You've got Scott Glenn in this. You've got Jürgen Prochnow, who is the German platoon leader. You're kind of supposed to side with him. Robert Prosky is in it as a local priest. Ian McKellen is a doctor who's like brought in to try and understand what's going on within the keep. And then there's a fantastic performance from Gabriel Byrne, who plays a ice cold SS leader who brings some of the obligatory kind of evil Nazis killing the local villagers. But that's not to say it's a war film or any kind of commentary on the evil of the Nazi regime. This is very much a supernatural horror film and stays within that wheelhouse, much to its own advantage, I would say. Now, unfortunately, The Keep was riddled with production problems. First of all, the guy who worked on the visual effects for this movie actually died whilst the movie was still being made, and nobody really knew how to carry on with the visual effects that he was making. In fact, director Michael Mann had to spend weeks and weeks and weeks trying to get the hang of it and trying to recreate what he had done, but it just didn't work the same. And the studio was getting impatient and it was running out of time, so they never really got to carry on with the effects-laden movie that they had in mind. Now, apparently Michael Mann's full cut for this movie was 2 hours and 10 minutes long, which is 3.5 hours. Now, Paramount Studios did not like this at all and ordered the movie to be cut down to 2 hours. But even then, when it was released on test screenings, they were very unfavourable and it did not go down very well. And the studio ordered another 30 minutes of cuts. So that's a 3.5 hour movie cut down to an hour and a half. So a lot of stuff taken out of this. I can understand Michael Mann's frustrations when it comes to that. And to be fair, this is the only downside of watching The Keep in its current state. You do get the sense that so much was hacked out of this film. Things happen, conversations take place, characters come into it, and it usually leads to you thinking, have I missed 20 minutes? Which in actuality you probably have. So that's a real shame. I mean, I for one would love to see the full version of this movie. That is 3.5 hours that I would put aside just to see this from start to finish. Now, there have been a few requests over the years. There have even been a few petitions out there on the internet to get a full release of The Keep, but it's never happened. In fact, this bare bones DVD from Australia is the only release that there is of it on physical media. And it's such a shame. It's a film that is shunned by its studio and disliked by its director, which is sad, because it really is a good film, and there's so much worse out there than The Keep. And hopefully we will get a nice edition of this and more of a full edition, just to bring it together a bit more, because it is hard to kind of follow in its current state. So yeah, but it is a wonderful film. It definitely, as I say, it has something. It has a power to it which is hard to explain. Wonderful performances, great music, and a cool looking monster in it as well. It really is an impressive horror film, and deserves more recognition and more of a complete release than what it has. So I just wanted to give this one a bit of coverage. I watched it again last night for the first time in years, and just thoroughly enjoyed it, and was reminded how good it was. So let me know if you've seen The Keep. Let me know what you think of it, and if you're one of those people that, like me, is holding out for a full version of this. I'd be really interested to know. So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.